It's a 2013 Morgan three-wheeler. Yeah, they spent all day coming up with that name. So, but yeah, it's Morgan three-wheeler. I'm in the Marine Corps, so I've been stationed in Europe. We had a day trip in London. I saw a guy driving down the street, and I knew he wasn't from Mars, but I was like, I gotta have that thing. So going through the process with Morgan in the UK. Waited about 8 months to get it, and then we picked her up in April.
So when your husband told you he wanted to get this car, what'd you think?
He didn't really tell me at first. I think it was an idea that kind of formed in his head, and he knew that I may or may not go with it, but I saw photos of it, and he kind of gave me a brief history, and we're both car buffs. I mean, my daily driver is a 78 Mercedes 300 CD, so we really do like nice vehicles, older cars, and British Motors especially. So, yeah, I wanted it. I have to admit.
There was no convincing, really.
Not really.
How's it ride?
Surprisingly well, even though it's missing a wheel. It handles really well. Suspension's good. It's really, really torquey. You know, you can spin the wheel through third gear. But it's got a Harley SNS motor and a Mazda Miata transmission, so it's really modern.
Probably 99.99% of the people that came to the show have never seen a Morgan three-wheeler. I mean, it's a very unique vehicle. Twin-cylinder V2 motorcycle engine.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was unbelievable. You know, a $60,000 car with 2 cylinders. Can't beat that.
Smooth ride?
It wasn't bad. Wasn't bad at all. I mean, it's not the smoothest ride I've ever had, but it was very nice. It's a feeling of being on the road, you know, and really get the feel of the road.
Kind of a thrill.
It was great.
So I would imagine it's just perfect for long trips. And
Yeah, not so much. I don't know if he told you the story, but we actually drove it 900 miles the minute we got it. It was shipped into West Palm Beach, and we made the drive from West Palm to New Orleans. After about the first 2 hours, the whole lower part of my body was numb. I couldn't get comfortable, and it's terrible for packing. I mean, I don't know how any female can pack what they need, the essentials anyway, in something that small, but it's been an experience.
what's your top speed so far?
I tell you, I went 110, and I'll never do that again. I'll never ever do it.
I'd imagine you really feel it in a car that small.
You don't need to drive this. I mean, you could have a blast at 60 miles an hour in that thing. It is crazy to drive. You kind of feel like a hooligan, you know, when you're in it. You just, it really is a great car.
I've seen this car once before in Pensacola earlier this year, but this is the only one that I know of in this area, the 2013 Morgan Trike.
It's a traffic stopper, isn't it?
It is. It scores high on the wow factor by all means.
You think you'd enjoy the ride down the interstate? I think they came up from New Orleans.
They did. When I ran across them in Pensacola, they just picked the car up in Fort Lauderdale, I believe, and drove it to Pensacola. So they put some miles on the car. It's bound to be I think they describe it as finding every bump in the road.
Watch her do it. She's a pro.
Now that was easy. You acted like it was difficult to get out of that car.
Well, for some people who don't do it as often as I do, it can be. But I'm kind of a pro now.
Blink, you missed that. What's the one thing somebody should know if they own that kind of car or want to buy that kind of car?
The windshield wipers never work.
Well, there's not a lot of windshield there to wipe, is there?
No, I mean, there is no frills to this vehicle. I mean, it is the purest form of driving. You just kind of got to get in and go. You're not worried about traction control or ABS or steering radius. It's just like the most fun you can do in a straight line is in this car for sure.